Okay.
And action.
What's going on, YouTubers? Mr. Cheap here again. Mrs. Cheap was gonna do the video intro, but when I asked her why she wasn't in it, she's like, no, I'm in pajamas. I'll just stand behind the camera and you... Why are you laughing?
I didn't want to put makeup on or put clothes on.
I didn't put makeup on. I pulled a fleece on over nothing.
Don't do that. Zip that up. Nobody wants to see that.
Okay, so today I did another voiceover for one of Courtney's videos. And apparently, I have not seen it yet, so you guys will have to tell me in the comments if she was nice to me or not. Courtney decided that turnabout is fair play and voiced over my Christmas wreath video.
It's the great voiceover crossover. Mixover. That's what it's called.
Layover at the airport.
No.
So, you... apparently get two voiceovers today. One from me and one from Courtney. I know mine's better in both respects. My voiceover is better than hers, and my craft is better than hers. But feel free to let us know down below if you agree with me. Now, on to our regular weekly feature, where we talk about places that people are from. There has been a lot of confusion again on y'all's part, or you're just trying to play tricks on me. There were several people who lied again in the comments. Somebody said they were from Lebanon, Tennessee. Somebody else said they were from Lebanon, Indiana. Both are wrong. Lebanon is a country, not a city, not in Indiana, not in Tennessee, not in anywhere else that you say you're from Lebanon in, but thank you for trying. Also, someone said they were from Bristol, Tennessee, and someone else said they were from Bristol, Virginia. Now, I do know that Tennessee and Virginia touch. I'm wondering if this town is on the border and in both states, or if one of you is just confused.
That's kind of like Kansas City.
I'm trying to talk.
Missouri and Kansas.
Actually, true story, Kansas City is in Missouri and in Kansas, and the street that is on the state line in between the two of them is called State Line Road. Someone else said they were from Midlothian, Virginia. Incorrect. Midlothian is outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area here in Texas. Also, someone said they were from Beaumont, California. Once again, Beaumont is in Texas, east of Houston, between Texas and Louisiana. Louisiana is also known as Far East Texas. It is really just a part of our state. Stop trying to claim it as your own. Someone here was from Lafayette, Louisiana. I used to work for a company based in Lafayette, Louisiana. Been there multiple times. There's great po' boys. I can't remember the name of the place, but tell me in the comments down below so the next time I go there I can eat it.
Louisiana has good po' boys. They're good.
I'm trying to talk.
Sorry.
Someone said they were from Rigby, Idaho, which I believe they said was the birthplace of the television. Little biology lesson. Televisions aren't born. They're built in a factory. Only mammals give birth to anything, not televisions, but thank you. Burley, Idaho, what an unfortunate name. I feel like everybody wears a flannel shirt and has a big lumberjack beard. Big burly individuals.
You fit right in there.
Can I please record this?
Sorry.
Hanover, Pennsylvania tried to tell me that they know that it's the name of a city in Germany. I don't know if there's a large German population there and they just decided that they would make it, but normally when they do that they make it like New Hanover. So maybe you're from New Hanover, Pennsylvania, and you just don't know it. What was the other one that was on here? I don't remember. Anyway, on to our winner for this week. There is a close runner-up, and I apologize to the runners-up. Maybe you will win something in the future. There are some people from a town in Utah that's spelled really weird, and apparently no one can pronounce it. I was going to go with 2L as well, but someone said that in the comments, and that was not correct.
I said Thule. I said it right.
I don't think that's it either.
Oh.
She said it's super weird, so I don't know.
My guess is Thule.
It's probably... Toelele.
It's probably Tuile.
Maybe the T is silent. It's pronounced
like fragile.
Uli.
But...
It's just Uli because the T is silent.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there are two of y'all from the same small town that no one can pronounce in Utah.
Y'all should get together and craft.
And therefore, we could not pick the winner from there.
That's rude. Why would you even tell them that? You should have just left that whole part out. Now they're like, oh man, we didn't win. So you're telling them...
I said they were the runner-up.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry.
I didn't tell them they didn't win. I said they were the runner-up.
I must have had my ear blocking on again when you were talking.
Am I going to have to re-record this?
Because you talk a lot. I'm just saying.
Because you keep interrupting me.
Okay, just get on with it. I need to do some shout-outs.
To our official winner, Carol Hodges from Silver Spring, Maryland. Carol was the only person in the comments who said she would love to display the wreath on her front door. I am pretty sure that she has Instagram because she also smacked me and told me that I don't follow Courtney on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, Carol. Woo!
And so, because she has Instagram, I'm sure she will post something on her Instagram.
Every month.
Of her front door with the wreath on it, and I bet it will just stay up in perpetuity all year long, regardless of season. And all of her neighbors are going to say, oh my gosh, that's an amazing wreath. Where did you get that? Why are you laughing?
She should do it every month, holding a newspaper next to it so we can check the date. And if she does it for the whole year, then she wins the ultimate prize.
This isn't a kidnapping video, and we need proof of life.
She could show her phone next to it. Okay, fine, not a newspaper. Just
Carol,
phone up.
if you would, please email Courtney at Courtneylovescoffee@gmail.com. Or, since apparently you're on Instagram, you can probably...
You can paper... the paper airplane. She can airplane you, or she can airplane me.
I thought the paper airplanes was like when people did little emoji things on it.
No, babe, it's how you send a message. They're called DMs. Direct message. Okay, we're speaking of Instagram.
Whatever she said. Carol, congratulations. You're the winner of the Mr. Cheap 2020 Christmas wreath and whatever other of Courtney's crafting projects I can fit into the box so that we can pare down what we have here.
Okay, we need to do some Instagram. Get your real Mr. Cheap.
Oh.
I'm going to shout out. So the first one, shouting out, thank you for following us, is kind of like your name, SomeBum79. Thank you for following us. Also, I've got...
Whoa, it like autoplays. How do I get it to stop?
Stop doing that. Here's my second one. It goes to Chris Barber. Whoa, focus please. 539. Thank you for following us. And we've got Peace, Love, Understanding 3. If I can get it to focus. There we go. Thank you so much for following. There we go. Who you got?
Did you put your hand behind
No, I didn't. I just held it up. All right, here are you. Just go to the heart. Okay, slow down. I gotta give him a... Go to your...
Okay.
There you go, yeah. And then just click on the name. Okay, so that person, who is that?
Shannon Marie George. Thank you very much for following Real Mr. Cheap. Make sure you're following the real Mr. Cheap and none of the fake ones.
But it's not his name, but you're already following, so we don't need to... Don't say the in front of your name because it doesn't have
Real MR Cheap.
Yes. Good.
It's all about you photography.
Nice.
I'm guessing that they take pictures of you. And in the photos, it's just you. There's nothing else in the photo. It's all about you.
Okay, one more.
Bubbles123193.
Nice.
That's a lot of numbers after your name, Bubbles. I'm guessing there were a lot of people named Bubbles, and you were the 123,193 person with that name. Thank you very much for the follow. Follow me on Instagram and send me paper airplanes because I like those. And without further ado, let's get into the voiceover videos. We will see you next week.
Stop talking finally.
For Courtney's first craft, she's going to take 3 giant dominoes that she has scraped all of the little dots off of. And she scraped the black paint off of them too, but then she's just painting them. Well, I guess it's brown, not black, but she's painting them brown. This may be stain, actually, because it looks kind of like stain that it's like soaking into the stuff with it. So she's making more brown dominoes. She'll get out the white paint marker here in a second and put some of the dots back on. I prefer double 12 dominoes. It's a little more complex, and that way if you're playing against people who need to use their hands and toes in order to count, they can only go as high as 10. So double 12 is normally beyond them. That works out much better. Now what she's done after she has stained the large dominoes is taken some unbraided, rebraided twine, it looks like, and that was probably like a braided rope, and then she's just stripped it out into these individual pieces, and now she's going to write the letter A on these. Oh no. So she's going to, that's why she scraped all of the dots off of the domino. She's going to do stars instead of dots. Or it's a squid with a star on its head. Some sort of a large animal. Oh no, it is I'm trying to record a voiceover and you're laughing in the background. Now this one is what's it called? A Sierpinski triangle? Go look that up. Those are kind of neat. Nope, not a Sierpinski triangle. Also a Christmas tree. I had to go in and outline some of this for her, and then she went back and colored over it. Now she's putting the domino dots back in on the Sierpinski triangle Christmas tree. And this is a flagpole with a star on top of it. So 2 Christmas trees and a flagpole. Oh, nope, not a flagpole. It's a feather, a large feather with a star on the end of it. Most feathers do not have stars on the end of them. It would be difficult for the birds to fly. Also, apparently dinosaurs may have had feathers, but there's still some debate about all of this. You can go and read more about that on the Googler if you are interested in dinosaur feathers. To the right, you will see more of her cheaty scissors. Courtney does have 137 pairs of scissors of all kinds of different types that cheat and do different things. Those appear to be, those are not the automatic ones. The automatic ones have like a battery pack that goes onto them that just cut automatically. And there you can see she changed the dominoes to more like mahjong tiles, but these are big, so that would be a big game of mahjong. You'd need a big table. This is apparently going to be some sort of a snake craft. Courtney likes snakes, especially when they are in movies on an airplane. For those of you who don't know, she likes the worst movies ever made. Typically things about giant sharks that are chasing people and snakes on airplanes and anything else that she and Bailey can think of. Yep, definitely a snake craft. It may be a rattlesnake craft because normally their rattlers at the end kind of taper like this from smallest to biggest. And so that would make a lot of sense. She has, it looks like, put tape on the end of her unbraided, rebraided string, and that is most likely to prevent any electrical shorts. That black tape is electrical tape, and it is used to prevent the passage of electricity from one string to the other. She should also probably be using some sort of, heavy-duty rubber gloves when she does this, so that she's less likely to get shocked by the electricity that's passing through that string there. This is not a very long snake. It's more of like a little grub worm snake. Maybe not even a snake. Maybe it is just a grub worm. Oh, and now, okay, so this is kind of like when, mean kids, when you were growing up and there was like the mean kid down the street that would like tie a can onto a dog's tail. Yeah, so that's what she's doing here. She's tying things onto the snake's tail because it will annoy and bother the snake, which will normally make them leave your house. If you have snakes in your home and you tie something onto their tail, they get irritated with it and they run away. And so, why are things dinging? You need to get some of those things probably from Dollar Tree because everything that Courtney buys is from Dollar Tree. For those of y'all who do not know, I have now been to Dollar Tree. I'm kind of a Dollar Tree expert. I'm also kind of a big deal. And now she's going to paint the grub worms / short snake, but see the loop on the end? That loop is probably where she's going to attach the head. So it will be a snake, because if it were a grub worm or a worm in general, it wouldn't have a head. But if it's a snake, it has a head, eyes and the little nostril thingies, because it's not really a nose, but nostrils and a mouth. And then she's going to tie the annoying thing onto its tail, to, symbolize, hey, like, these were in our house, but they ran away, so now they're just in a crafting video. And once she has put these things on the ends of the snake tails, I'm guessing we'll do the heads after that. No, we'll do tiny bows. That must be a girl snake, because girls get bows. Or they're all girl snakes, I guess, or grub worms. Nope, snakes, because they do have heads, so definitely. And then she just hangs them from a tree and doesn't put the heads on them. So there you go. The headless snakes with the things on their tails to make them run away. And she's put some lights in there to kind of accent so that you can see those snakes better, onto a fake tree. Now, this may be a drawing. She may get some crayons or some markers and draw on a piece of paper here, do some artwork. I prefer stick figure art, and it's not because of skill. I mean, obviously I could do very realistic drawings that look exactly like the people that I'm drawing or the thing that I'm drawing. But I think that when you do that, people sometimes get concerned because it can be too real. And they think that what you drew a picture of may really have happened or be happening. And since all of my artwork is not historical, and accurate representations of what has happened in the past, I use stick figures to let people know that, this is not real. It's a much better way to do art so that people, don't get confused between your artwork and reality, which can happen if you are as good of an artist as I am. Courtney is now trying to measure things. Not really sure why we're trying to measure. This thing looks very complicated that she's got here in the background, but it's actually designed for people who can't handle complicated things. Each one of those little boxes is see, you could just cut it like that. You don't need to measure anything and draw lines on it, because those lines are on the little mat down below when you cut stuff underneath. So that was a useless step. You can skip over that one if you have one of these. See the little cutting thing? It has numbers at the top and it tells you how long you're cutting it to start with. So you don't have to go in and mark it first with a pencil. You don't even need a pencil for this craft. You need paper and a glue stick. So pretty much any kindergarten classroom will have the supplies that you need in order to make this craft. Also scissors, but those are the teacher scissors, because if you're in a kindergarten room, they're going to have the ones that are like plastic covered so that you can't really cut yourself with them, and they're going to be rounded on the end so that you can't run with the scissors, even though you're not supposed to. A lot of times people do, and fall on them and, like stab yourself with them, because that would be bad in kindergarten. So you do need the teacher scissors from the kindergarten classroom, and then you're just going to get some markers. This looks like chalk of some sort, but chalk in a Sharpie pen. Not sure how that happens, but apparently Sharpie makes a chalk something or other. And you're going to go in and draw on your construction paper cutouts with your kindergarten supplies. You got to make them all look exactly the same. She did not make them look exactly the same. If you look at the squiggles at the very top of the roof, there are 3 squiggles on the left one, 3 squiggles on the middle one, and only 2 squiggles on the right-hand house. Please try and make all of yours look the same. My OCD appreciates it. Oh, there we went again. We don't have the same number of tiles on the roof. Tiles or shingles, whatever those would be, for these next 2 houses. We have very clearly 3 with 2 small ones on either side on the one on the right, and then 3 with only 1 small one on the house on the left for the top row. And now she's done with her construction paper kindergarten project. So what she may have hurt her finger, and she is creating a splint of some sort here. She's going to wrap that finger together with the uninjured finger and splint it against it. You always want to immobilize the joint above and below the site of the injury when splinting some sort of a crafting injury or a regular injury. I sprained my ankle the other day, and we want to make sure that we immobilize that joint above and below. Now she has cut all of her splinting material in half, which will prevent you from using it. That's not what you want to do when you're making splinting material. You also, as I learned the other day, want to hold your hand behind something when you hold it up closer to the camera so that it doesn't get all out of focus and fuzzy like hers is here. Also, if you have an Uncle Rico, your Uncle Rico can put his hands behind an object and make it focus for you. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, please go watch the Dollar Tree haul video. We will show you the proper technique for focusing on things that are moving closer to the camera. And who told me that? Was it? Who told me how to do that with the hands?
Caitlin.
Caitlin. Crafts by Caitlin, who also can't spell. She spelled crafts with a K. Anyway, so now we have taken our splinting material and we're stringing it all on like a fish stringer. For those of you who have not been fishing since, or have been fishing recently, but didn't fish back 30 or 40 years ago, maybe longer than that. They used to make these things called stringers that you could run through the gills of the fish like this, and then they'd all kind of hang off of it. And anyway, whole different story there. We'll get into that in another video. These are tiny clothespins. They are sold at the Tiny Things store. If you go to the Tiny Things store, they sell everything that they sell at a regular Walmart or Dollar Tree, just much smaller. Oh, and I see what she's done here. She has separated out all of the construction paper kindergarten tree or houses with the splinting material, and now she is showcasing the large mahjong squares in the background. You will need to make a pair of each one of those. So you got to make 2 of each of those so that when you actually play mahjong, you can match it up with something and remove those tiles from the board. And then the headless snakes. Oh my gosh, I'm out of time again. Thank you guys for watching. Now I don't even know what we're showing here. This is a blue light and a red light and a yellow.
Turn. Now it's my turn to try to voice over one of his. So let's start right here. His intros. Right here, he's just talking and talking and talking because he's completely full of hot air and literally could talk your ear off. Like literally talk so much that your ears just want to fall off. But you know what? Let's get past this so we can actually get into what he is calling quote unquote a craft and see what he, let me just tell you what's really going on behind the scenes when he makes his craft. And look, he's still talking, probably shouting out people and making up ridiculous facts about where they live. Let's just fast forward this and get into this craft. Now that we are done with that jibber jabber session, and I'd also like to say I'm sorry on behalf of Spence for having wasted that time that you will never get back in your life. Here he's trying to convince you that he went out into the front yard and I got some twigs and I wrapped them around and I made that. Yeah, no, he bought this from Dollar Tree. He also bought that garland from Dollar Tree and he's going to wrap this thing. It's going to take forever. He thinks snapping will make things just happen miraculously. Like there's some kind of crafting fairy that floats around our house all day and just things happen when you snap your fingers. I don't know what that's about, but anyway, definitely the better option here would be just save yourself a little time. Just go buy one for $1.99 at Dollar General or at Walmart. But you know what? You could also spend eternity wrapping it like Spence decided to do. So let's just kind of fast forward through this so that I don't waste too much more of your time. I have no words for the crafting injury he sustained while doing this project. If any of you have been struck by a ceiling fan while crafting, please comment down below because I would love to hear from you. Now he's ready to attach his little decorative pieces to his wreath, and he's going to start with these ceramic pieces. He loves to paint. I would have to say that his skills have improved. Let's say maybe on the, and there's that snapping again, the first grade level. Let's go with that. He painted Santa's coat solid red, which we all know that Santa has white on the bottom of his coat. He also painted a blue belt buckle on Santa. And that kind of explains why that on Christmas morning, when our children open their gifts from Santa, he is just as surprised at what they get. So that tells you a lot about our household. Anyway, he's going to paint that. And then he also painted the little snowman. And there he goes, borrowing my crafting supplies. He never comes prepared. He was never a Boy Scout, which I guess explains why he needs to use my stuff all the time. And there's a little zoom in of his work. He's very proud of it. Mostly stayed in the lines there. Creepy if you ask me, but still, I guess, you know, somewhat festive. Now he's ready to move on to these snowflakes. He did not like my suggestion of just painting them. He wanted some markers. However, these markers weren't good enough for him. He's a little bit of a high maintenance crafter, so I had to get him a paint pen. Again, why didn't he just swipe it with some white paint and be done in about 10 seconds? I don't know. He preferred to paint them with the paint marker and drag this process on as painfully long as possible. Another thing he wanted to attach were these doves. Now, he originally wanted to use real doves, and I did have to explain to him why that was the worst idea I have ever heard in my life. He was very upset by that and took it out on this poor dove by ripping his leg out to say, haha, look at me, I ripped his leg out. Now, once he put the leg back in, he was ready to move on to the next step, which was to attach some mesh to his wreath. There's the mesh. Now, here is where he's either about to play peekaboo with the camera or he's just so angry. See what I mean? Angry about the birds. He can't let it go. So he decided to wrap his braided and rebraided, which he said that's not what he was doing, but that's exactly what he did, was braid and rebraid this tube mesh. He wrapped it around the wreath, and he decided that he wanted to do that instead of ribbon. He did not like my suggestion of ribbon and said that people who put ribbon on wreaths are not real wreath makers. Then he used my glue gun because, again, he doesn't have his own tools. He just thinks he can come in here and do whatever he wants in my craft room. And then once he was done doing that, he almost hot glued his beard into the wreath because there were some hairs. So I just went in there and kind of trimmed it a little bit because, you know, I was trying to be nice. I didn't want him to glue his face to the wreath. So I trimmed a few of the hairs to prevent a serious injury since he'd already injured his arm with a ceiling fan. Once that was glued down, then he started his work attaching all of his little decorations to this very special, and when I say special, I mean really special wreath. Okay, so here is where I had to talk him down once more with the candle. Originally I walked in and he was hot gluing a taper candle to the snowflake and couldn't understand why the candle kept melting. And I said, "You're using hot glue." And he said, "Well, this is a candle. It's supposed to be able to get hot." I don't understand his logic with that, but whatever. And I had to talk him down. He was really upset because he wanted to light the candle and he said it would have a natural glow. And I reminded him that this stuff was from Dollar Tree and that it would literally burst in flames. Let's just all think about where Dollar Tree products mostly come from, and it's just going to catch fire and not be good for anybody. Then came the suggestions of where were we going to hang this. Now, naturally, he thought it was going to go on the front door, and I did have to explain to him that front door status was something, there's the snapping again, something you had to earn. It wasn't just like, hey, I made this and it gets primo real estate. You know what I'm saying? So I threw out some other suggestions. I said, you know what? Let's donate it to a nursing home. They could hang it up. It could bring some cheer to those people. Didn't really like that idea. I also suggested the Lighthouse of Houston. If you don't know what that is, I'm just going to let you Google that one. Also suggested, you know what? There's another option. There's also the option to bring joy to the sanitation workers. I mean, come on. They've got a hard job emptying those dumpsters. We could hang it on a dumpster and it could bring some Christmas cheer to those guys. Again, he wasn't really feeling my suggestions, and then he decided that one of you guys should be blessed with this very fancy wreath. And here it is. Here is the quote-unquote wreath. Now, this wreath, we shall call it, could just provoke a lot of feelings in you. It's a very emotional piece. It might provoke some joy. It might make you feel very confused. It could also make you feel sympathy, perhaps, for Mr. Cheap. I don't know. It could make you feel sad. It might make you feel happy. He's also very proud of the fact that this is a multi-purpose piece. And not only is it, again, a quote-unquote wreath, it could also be a hat. He said that if you just shove your head right in there, it would cover up your ears and you would have this nice festive hat that you could wear around during this holiday season. I also said, you know what, it could also be a very festive toilet brush. I think it would do a great job scrubbing a toilet. So yeah, you might want to use it like that. Let us know down below. I mean, this thing has so many possibilities. What else do you see it as besides, a quote unquote, I should say, wreath? I'm just gonna leave you with that. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. Comment down below with where you're from. Give us some shout outs. Follow us on Instagram for behind the scenes, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.